Your passion for the relationship was always evident in your efforts to maintain it. But now, something has changed. Maybe you're tired of trying, or you realized that your energy wasn't being matched, so you've taken a step back. You're not chasing or looking for approval anymore, and she can feel it. The dynamic has shifted, and now she's the one observing, questioning what transpired, and whether she took your presence for granted. A woman's reaction can show if you've lost interest in her. It's a moment of reckoning for both of you and her. Today, we're going to talk about the feelings, psychology, and power shifts that happen when you choose to take a break and focus on yourself. Trust me, the way she acts might surprise you. Let's get started immediately. Number 1. The chase. The chase begins. Things that seem just out of reach are often the most valuable to us. If you think about it, the more rare and hard to get something is, the more valuable it becomes. We want it. When you stop giving her your full attention and start to focus on yourself, she starts to wonder why you're not as approachable. What changed with your energy? And being interested can be strong. Stoicism teaches us to be honest and open in our relationships. If your disinterest is genuine, perhaps you've outgrown the relationship or need to prioritize yourself, you're strong. Your lack of interest should come from self-respect, knowing what you want, and not from wanting to play with someone's feelings. When she senses a change in your energy, she may text you to make plans or talk about what's been going on between you two. This is her way of trying to get back in touch with you. It's normal for people to feel this way when they understand how much they've taken for granted. But here's the important thing. Imagine a man who has decided to focus on his personal growth. He's not checking his phone every 5 minutes or changing his schedule to fit her in. Instead, he's present in his own life, pursuing his goals and maintaining his peace of mind. That energy of being grounded, unbothered, and focused draws her in, not because he's pretending to care less, but because he genuinely values himself and his time. Remember, your worth is not dependent on someone else's attention or affection. Whether she comes back or not, your peace should stay intact. If she does return, it's not for you to punish her or play hard to get, but rather it's a chance to see if the connection still fits with the person you're becoming, so don't chase or overanalyze. Let your actions reflect your priorities and your values. If she really wants to be a part of your life, she'll let you know, and if she doesn't, you'll be on a road that's good for you with or without her. Stay true to yourself, stay grounded, and trust that the right connections will grow when they are based on mutual respect and honesty. The second step involves testing your resolve. This intriguing shift often triggers a range of actions designed to put you to the test. Suddenly, she may sharpen her playful comments, teasing in a more pointed manner. She might bring up someone else in passing to see what happens, or she might use subtle provocation to see if your lack of interest is real or just an act. These behaviors aren't intentional. They stem from the confusion and doubt she experiences when the dynamic between you shifts. Many men fail at this point because they allow their emotions to take control, reacting emotionally instead of remaining calm. They may rush to reassure her out of fear of creating distance or lash out defensively out of frustration. But the truth is that when you react emotionally, you give away your power. You confirm that her actions can affect your state of mind, and when someone knows they can easily do that, respect starts to fade. A Stoic man doesn't let outside forces affect his inner peace. He stays calm, grounded, and in control, no matter what storms may rage around him. If she tests you, see it for what it is, a sign of her uncertainty. This does not require you to lose your composure. Avoid over-explaining yourself or attempting to prove anything. A lot more than words could ever describe. Being next to a lake. When it winds up in the lake, The water's top bobs and shifts with each gust, but the depths below stay still. You should strive to remain unaffected by the chaos above. Show her that you are not susceptible to transient emotions or provocations. That kind of unwavering calmness commands a different kind of respect, one that lasts no matter what happens in the relationship. What often surprises women in these situations is that true detachment doesn't mean being hostile. It means being centered enough to walk away. Without anger, guilt, or regret, this kind of calmness sticks with people because most people respond quickly and let their emotions take over. But when you stay calm and keep your dignity, you show that you value your peace of mind. Over short-lived arguments, whether she decides to let go or tries to get back together, you'll know that you handled the situation with strength and grace. You've shown her that you're not a man who needs approval or causes drama for no reason. Instead, you're someone who respects himself enough to keep his emotions in check. That's a rare and powerful trait that leaves a lasting impression far beyond the moment. Now, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Have you ever faced a challenge? How did you handle it? Tell us about your story in the space below. I really want to hear your thoughts and experiences. If you're short on time, simply write "I stay grounded" in the comments to express your adoption of a Stoic mindset. We value your input. Build a group where everyone can learn and grow, so don't hold back. Number 3, put in more effort to efforts to impress. The next time you see her, she might start trying harder. She might text you more often, thinking more about what to say to try to get your attention. Her tone might become softer, more affectionate, or even flirtatious, anything to rekindle the spark. She might also start putting more effort into how she looks because she knows you'll see her or interact with her, a new outfit, a different hairstyle, or a level of confidence that wasn't there before. Even her attitude might change. She might become more agreeable, more supportive, or more focused on what she thinks you want or need now. Why does this take place? It's in our nature to be pulled to things that seem just out of reach. When you stop giving your full attention, she feels the void that comes with it. Curiosity, uncertainty, even a bit of panic, and it pushes her to take action, whether she's consciously aware of it or not. Her efforts are often driven by a desire to reclaim your attention, to prove to herself that she still holds a place in your life. Epicus taught that we should focus on what is within our control and release what isn't her reaction. While it may be flattering or even surprising, is not something you can control or should try to control. It's a reflection of her internal world, not yours. If her efforts are sincere and aligned with what you truly value, that's worth appreciating. But if her changes feel like a reaction to your detachment rather than a sign of real growth or understanding, you need to tread carefully. Imagine this scenario. You've stepped back from the relationship because you realized it no longer aligns with your long-term goals. Perhaps she wasn't respecting your boundaries or wasn't offering the kind of partnership you need to thrive now. Sensing the shift, she starts sending messages that seem more thoughtful or even apologetic. Maybe she suddenly becomes more attentive, listening to things she once ignored or downplayed. From a Stoic perspective, it's essential to ask oneself if anything has actually changed at its core, or if this is just a surface-level reaction to the fear of losing you. Stoicism teaches us to act with purpose and honesty. Don't let fleeting feelings or outside influences guide you. If you've stepped away to protect your peace, don't let temporary gestures pull you back into a situation that doesn't serve you. It's okay to appreciate her effort, to see that she's trying, and maybe even to feel proud that your presence had such an effect. But you have to stay true to your own values. Think about the tough things. Is her hard work a sign of real growth and change, or is it just a response to your absence? If it's the latter, the change won't last, and she'll probably go back to her old ways once she stops being afraid of losing you, goes away. If it's the first one and her actions really match what you want in a partner, then maybe you can talk about the future. Remember that keeping your peace doesn't mean being mean or cold. It means making sure that your relationships, romantic or otherwise, make your life better instead of worse. If she tries hard and it feels genuine, take a moment to enjoy it. But never lose sight of what's important to you. The right relationship will help you grow. Above all, don't let anyone pull you away from it. Stay true to yourself, because your peace of mind is something only you can guard. Number 4. The nervous roller coaster. The emotional roller coaster ride. When a woman realizes you're no longer interested in her, she may feel a lot of different emotions, including anger, sadness, and longing. This is a normal response to the sudden shift in energy and attention, and she may find herself going back and forth between trying harder to win your love and pulling away to protect her pride. This emotional roller coaster isn't about you. It's a reflection of her inner struggle as she tries to make sense of the change. You see, people value what feels scarce, and when your attention becomes less available, it makes her feel uncertain, so she might start to replay events in her mind, wondering what changed and if she took your interest for granted. This is a normal response, but it also shows how much we depend on outside approval, which is something we've all done at some point. Someone once said that a person is not free until he or she is master of himself. The key is to stay grounded and steady during this emotional storm. Don't let her attempts to get you to respond or her withdrawal bother you. Get rid of your inner peace. Your calmness shows that you're strong and in control, earning you respect and proving that you're worth it regardless of others. Show this by standing your ground and staying true to your values. You send a deep message that your worth is not based on other people's praise or attention. This doesn't mean you have to be cold or rude. Instead, you should project an air of calm. Detachment Stoicism tells us to only think about the things we can change, like our thoughts, actions, and reactions. You shouldn't try to control her emotions, but you can show her that your inner world is stable by being steady. Over time, she may come to respect this sense of self-possession, and it may even make her think about her own emotions and behaviors. Most importantly, being steady prioritizes your own peace of mind, demonstrating your control over yourself, regardless of others' actions. So the next time you see her struggling with your lack of interest, remember that it's not your job to fix her emotions. Instead, focus on being the master of your own. Your quiet confidence carries more weight than any reaction could. What do you think about this way of staying calm and in control? Have you been through something similar before? Tell me about it in the comments below, or if you don't know what to say, just type "Quiet confidence is my power" to show me that you're ready to take control of your inner world. Let's keep talking. The 5th part of the silent observation phase, going silent, is the part of observing silence when words can't fill the void. She starts to notice something intriguing without speaking. Her attention shifts from what you say to what you do. Every move you make, every choice you make, and every moment you're there or not there becomes a clue. She starts to wonder if he's really into me or if his actions are saying something else. When you've reached a state of detachment, it manifests in your behavior, prompting her to question everything. Your late replies, your lack of interest, and your calm, independent demeanor all contribute to the overall picture. It's not about engaging in games or attempting to prove a point. It's about embodying an inner sense of peace. This calmness is what makes her notice, maybe for the first time, that you've taken your attention away from her. Stoicism teaches us that true detachment is accepting things as they are, not how we want them. When you let go, it should come from a place of understanding, not anger. By focusing on your own growth and staying calm, Dem is showing what the Stoics call detachment, ataraxia, a calm mind that isn't affected by outside things. She senses this change, and it makes her feel something deep inside because it's no longer about her. It's about you getting your peace back. For example, she sends you a casual message after weeks of silence. When she asks, "Hey, how have you been?" You don't rush to answer or overthink her intentions. You take your time and respond when you're ready, maybe with a polite but neutral tone. There's no anger or eagerness, just calmness. She begins to notice that you're no longer seeking her approval, a realization that often resonates more profoundly than any words could. What's fascinating is how this shift often compels her to reflect. The space you've created gives her room to think about her own actions, her own feelings. She might start to question if she took you for granted, if she misread the value you brought into her life. It's a powerful dynamic, but it only works if your detachment is genuine. Remember, this isn't about manipulation or trying to get a reaction true. Stoic detachment means you've made peace with the outcome. Whatever it may be, you're not ignoring her to hurt her. You're prioritizing your own mental clarity and emotional well-being. That quiet confidence, that inner strength, it's what makes her take notice. And sometimes realizing you've lost interest is the wake-up call she didn't know she needed. So, as you navigate this path, let your actions reflect the kind of person you aspire to be. Lead with calm, lead with clarity, and let your focus remain on what you can control yourself. It's not about winning her back. It's about showing up for yourself, and in doing so, you might just become the person she regrets letting go. Number 6. Putting her back together, building up her guard. If she thinks you've really moved on, she may start to emotionally protect herself. This isn't necessarily a reaction to you, it's her need to feel safe and stable in herself. You may notice that she pulls away or builds emotional walls. Although it may appear as if she doesn't care, it's often a strategy to shield her heart from potential hurt or vulnerability. This is where your approach becomes very important. As tempting as it is to act like she doesn't care or let your pride guide you, Stoicism encourages you to deal with things with grace, and it teaches us that we can't change how other people feel or react. We can only change our own thoughts, actions, and reactions. You can respect her limits without letting anger or pride affect how you act. Maintaining your dignity and inner peace is more important than proving a point or gaining control. For example, if she stops responding to your messages or avoids talking to you directly, you can give her the space she needs without overanalyzing her actions or trying to force a response. Be kind, but don't change your mind about moving forward. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not over outside events." Real strength lies in striking a balance between allowing her to be herself and maintaining your ground. Realize this, and you will feel stronger. When she feels like you are truly okay with moving on, it can make her feel a lot of different things. She may think about what led to this point, question her actions, or even feel regret. But it's not your job to control or manage these feelings. Instead, focus on being a calm presence, someone who doesn't need to put others down to feel strong or validated. You demonstrate your centeredness, confidence, and self-assurance by practicing emotional self-discipline and living in accordance with your values. This often speaks louder than any words or actions you say to prove your worth. Leaving with a calm demeanor leaves a lasting impression. This isn't about playing games or looking for approval. It's about embracing the core of Stoicism, mastering yourself, and finding freedom in letting go of what you can't control. By doing this, you show respect for both her and yourself. If you've made it this far, it's clear that you're deeply committed to mastering yourself and approaching relationships with wisdom and grace. Now, I'd love to hear what you think. How does this way of looking at rebuilding emotional limits make sense to you? Have you ever been in a similar situation? If so, how did you handle it? Leave a comment below with your thoughts, or just type them in. Self-mastery is what makes you strong. It's great to have you here, and I can't wait to read what you have to say. The seventh reflection tries to spark an attempt to spark feeling of wanting something envy. If she feels weak, she might try to make you jealous. You may see her sharing pictures on social media that make her life look good, like ones with other men, nights out, or new experiences. She might bring up stories about someone who's been showing her attention, or casually emphasize her independence as if to say, "Look at how well I'm doing without you." These actions aren't accidental. They're calculated moves, sometimes consciously, sometimes not, to regain the control she feels slipping away. As Epictetus wisely noted, it is not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters. These moments are an invitation for you to practice that philosophy when someone tries to provoke you, whether through jealousy or any other emotional trigger. It's not the act itself that holds power, but your response to it. If you engage even subtly, you fuel the narrative she's creating, but if you remain calm, detached, and focused on your own peace, you not only take control of the situation, but you also maintain your dignity. Think of jealousy as a fire. It thrives on reaction, on the fuel of engagement. If she posts a picture with someone new or makes a pointed remark about her life, the temptation to react can be strong, but a Stoic man understands that the only thing worth controlling is his own mind. Ask yourself, does this really upset me, or is it just a test of my strength? If you don't give in to the emotional games, you starve that fire. Your lack of anger sends a strong message, one of unwavering calm, that no one can take away your peace unless you let them. For example, when she posts a photo of herself with another man or tells a story about someone else taking her out, don't let it bother you. Instead, smile to yourself, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that your worth doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion or approval. This is where your inner strength shines. Your stillness and lack of words will say more than words ever could. It will show that you're not playing the game and that your happiness isn't dependent on what other people do. Over time, this calm neutrality will often have an effect you didn't expect. She may begin to question her actions and the reason he appears unaffected. This uncertainty prompts her to contemplate what she might have lost, and your silence carries more weight than your words. It's not meant to punish her. It's meant to show that you value inner peace over temporary drama, and let's be honest, people are drawn to people who exude this kind of confidence and self-control. It's magnetic. You embody the Stoic principles of self-mastery and emotional stability. You not only stand out, but you also show what it means to lead with power and wisdom. Outside noise doesn't bother you because your foundation is strong. If she tries to make you jealous or flaunt her independence, respect yourself, care about your own peace of mind, and let your calmness speak for you. Thus, you maintain your power and peace, and demonstrate to her and yourself that you control your emotions. This is what makes a man stoic. When you stand firm in your ideals, you don't chase people, you attract them. That's the kind of strength that no one can ignore. The eighth step involves accepting and adjusting until she finally accepts that you are no longer interested in her. This is usually the start of real change, not just for her, but also for you. As she accepts this new reality, she may go through a lot of personal growth. Sometimes it's challenging to let go of someone we care about, but that's when we can grow stronger. Acceptance is a gradual process that teaches her to be strong, think about herself, and concentrate on the things she can control. Letting go turns into. Even if she doesn't call it that, her version of Stoicism is letting go of things that don't serve her and focusing on her own health and happiness. Take time to reflect on your actions and growth and accept her process. You can't change how she feels or how she deals with your lack of interest in her, but you can stay calm, kind, and focused on your own path by turning your attention inward. You can stay true to your values while giving her the space to find peace in her own time. By taking a step back and concentrating on yourself, you demonstrate to her that you reserve your energy for what truly matters. This action can serve as a mirror, encouraging her to think about her own needs. Wants and plans for some women. This understanding might give them the boost they need to get their confidence back. They could explore their freedom or shift their focus to things that bring them joy. Joy. Imagine that a woman who feels your withdrawal at first feels hurt, but later turns that hurt into something useful. Maybe she starts focusing on her job or health, or she picks up a hobby she had put off. While it may be painful to see someone struggle, it's important to remember that people often come out stronger after going through challenging times. The most important thing to remember is that stepping back isn't about hurting someone on purpose. It's about making choices that are in line with your growth and values. You also give her the chance to accept her own journey when you do that. Remember that she's finding her own path at the same time that you're doing yours. Respecting her process while you work on yours is brave and right. Number 9. Think about your own life. Thoughts on your own journey. Journey. Lastly, this experience isn't just about how she reacted, it's also about how you've grown. Sometimes you lose interest because you've changed as a person and your goals have changed. After learning more, a link that seemed perfect no longer fits your needs. This isn't a failure. Having bigger wants and needs is a sign of growth. Relationships that don't align with your new self will inevitably come to an end. It's not about who's to blame. It's about clarity. Every connection is a lesson, as Marcus Aurelius says. Think about what this relationship taught you. Were there times when it helped you learn more about your limits, your wants, or your values? When did you realize you needed to be more assertive, patient, or self-aware? These lessons are priceless because they shape the person you're becoming. For her, your lack of interest might make you doubt yourself or want to get back together. It's common for people to underestimate their own value until they lose it. But instead of focusing on how she might react, you should focus on yourself. Get in touch with your values again. This is your chance to stay true to what matters to you and not let guilt or other people's standards change your mind. Take this as a chance to figure out what was wrong with the relationship. Was it a lack of shared goals or personal connection? You may have grown out of some dynamics. No matter what happens, see it as a way to learn more about your true self. Growing is never easy, but it's always worth it. You may find yourself drawn to Marcus Aurelius's words again. Pick out the good and leave the bad. Remember the positive times and the lessons you learned, but don't think about what could have been. Instead, work on becoming a better person by becoming more patient, resilient, or self-aware. As you think about this situation, remember that it's not about regret or blame. It's about alignment. By staying true to yourself and learning from each experience, you're paving the way for deeper connections in the future. Connections that truly align with your values and your purpose. As this video comes to a close, let's take a moment to think about the deeper lessons we've looked at today. Relationships, like life itself, are a steady dance of feelings, goals, and growth. Whether it's a small change in someone's attention, a test of their resolve, or a change that comes from accepting what they're going through. Each stage gives you a new chance to learn about yourself and others. The most important thing to remember is that your value doesn't depend on how other people see you. It depends on how you see yourself and the goals you set for your life. Stoicism teaches us that real strength comes from controlling our emotions. Letting go of the need to chase or prove yourself to someone else gives you back your power when you stay calm in the face of uncertainty and focus only on what you can control. This isn't about being cold or uncaring. It's about being grounded, sure of yourself, and deliberate in everything you do. Remember the examples we talked about. When someone feels the void that your withdrawal creates, their response often says more about their feelings than yours. Whether they try harder, test your resolve, or even try to make you jealous, these actions show what's going on in their mind, not yours. Your job isn't to get upset or involved in pointless drama. It's to stay calm, focused, and true to your values. Not only is that kind of calm rare, but it also holds great value. Let's now examine the broader perspective. Every relationship, no matter how long it lasts, teaches you something. Maybe it's about setting clearer boundaries, noticing patterns that don't serve you, or figuring out what you really value in a connection. These lessons aren't always easy, but they're always worth learning. Marcus Aurelius said that you should only keep the good things and throw away the bad ones. Keep the moments that made you stronger and let go of the ones that didn't. Letting go is a normal part of growing up and becoming the best version of yourself. When your feelings get too much, remember the power of silence. It's time to think and wait. Don't just say things, do things that show you care. Make choices based on your peace of mind. Whether someone stays away, comes back, or stays away again should not affect your sense of worth. That's the true essence of self-mastery, and it's the way to real, fulfilling relationships. Before you go, I'd love to hear what part of today's video spoke to you the most. Was there a stage or an example that related to your own life? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Your feedback not only makes our community stronger, it also helps us keep making meaningful content that really connects with you. If you liked this video, please support it by giving it a thumbs up and sharing it with someone who could benefit from these insights. But don't stop there. Check out the suggested videos on your screen right now. Each one goes into more detail about things like emotional mastery, self-respect, and making connections stronger and more purposeful. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Remember that keeping your peace isn't just a choice, it's a promise to yourself. Remain grounded, uphold your principles, and have faith that the right individuals will unexpectedly enter your life. Until next time, be careful and keep trying to find the peace and strength that Stoicism gives you. I'll see you in the next movie.